CA Pate, back at you with another video. And in today's video, we are talking about Can-Am Ryker custom sound systems, Can-Am Spyder custom sound systems. A lot of you guys get your bikes, especially for you newbies. When you get your bike, you're trying to figure out what kind of sounds do I put on my bike? How do I want to come with it? Then usually by season 3 of you having the bike, now you're ready to customize it and really make that thing sound loud, right? Hit that subscribe button before we get started. Let's get into the video. First up, we see the rear fender speakers, and then we see the front speaker fenders, speakers for the front fenders. And people like this look. I will admit, the sound does sound okay. It doesn't really matter which speakers you get. I'm telling you, the install matters. Who installs your speakers and what gauge of wiring and so on and so forth that they use, it matters. Because I've had some people that, have installed louder speakers for me and the speakers weren't that loud. Then I've had people that actually knew what they were doing, install the speakers or whatever, and they really knew what they were doing. This goes for cars and bikes or anything else. The install, who is installing the speakers? Now, I got some of you guys on here say, man, go to the Hispanics. The Hispanic guys know what they're doing. I got other people, you got an alley mechanic down the street, he know what he doing. Get a proper install. I'm not saying you got to go to a shop, but get somebody that has experience with working on speakers to do these installs, and you should be good to go. So this is another, some people start with this one. They'll go on Sling Mod or what have you. I think this setup originally was like $5.99 or $6.99, and it comes with this controller at the top, and you can add on to this. So you can add on 2 more speakers, and the controller can work with those speakers. But this setup by itself, these 2 speakers up top, this is not very loud. So you can hear the music if you're just going down the street at like 30, 40 miles per hour. When you get on the highway or whatever, that's when you tell what kind of system you have, because a lot of times, you guys know it, you're getting on a highway on a Ryker or a Spyder and you got your music turned all the way up. You can't even hear the music a lot of times. I can, because, now I'm more experienced. I knew what kind of sound I wanted. I know what direction to point the speakers and so on. So even if I'm going 70 on the highway, I can still hear my speaker setup. With most speaker setups, you cannot hear the music after about 45 to 50 miles per hour. And that wind gets going, you can't even hear the music. This is another one from BRP. So the BRP one, this one's like $7.99, $8.99, and about the same. After you get about 45, 50 miles per hour, you can't hear your music with this thing. Now it looks much more, get in the comment section, which one looks better? Does this one look better, which is the aftermarket, or does the one from BRP, which one looks better with the bike? In my opinion, I think this one looks better, but I also like this look too. Again, you're not going to hear it once you get on the highway, but I do like the way it's up there and you got your, your buttons and stuff. So when you're riding, you don't really have to all the way take your eyes off the road. You can just hit a button or 2. I just wish they were louder. This is what I started with. I started with this one right here. It is MTX soundbar. It worked for me. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was only like 300 watts or something like that. But it was right in my face, and the tweeters are built right into this thing. So it worked for me. It cut on every time I needed to cut on. I never really had a problem for like years. I just switched it out on my Ryker maybe, I don't know, a year and a half ago. But I was rocking this for like 3 years, 3 seasons. This was me right here, and I loved it. I didn't care how loud somebody else's was. And then over here to the side, it had like a USB port. Man, I was digging this MTX soundbar on my Ryker. Get in the comment section. Let me know if you have an MTX soundbar on your Ryker still. Then, you got people going to this setup, right, where they put the speakers down here right by your knees. I never went to this because look where the floorboards are down here. Shout out to Show Chrome. Those are Show Chrome floorboards. My knees would probably hit these speakers. So I'm 6'1". Yeah, I got to be careful where I put these speakers at. Another thing I hate is like your filters and stuff that's back here. Man, I hate doing oil changes for people that have their speakers and they're right on top of the thing, you know, where you got to pull the filters down or get to the oil or whatever on each side. Man, the speakers are always in the way. So I get why you guys do it, and it's in a great position for the sound to come straight up at you. But another one is like when you go custom, where you get the panels to fit the actual speakers. That's custom right there, man. Custom. Get in the comment section. Let me know if you like this type of custom setup where the panels, the speakers are built into the panels. So it comes out at you like this. So you're definitely going to hear these, even if the watts and RMS and everything else is, you know, not even super high. You still going to hear these speakers. They're right in your face. So I feel like the closer they are to your face, the more you're going to hear them. That's just in my opinion. So when I first got my install after I got done with the MTX sound bar, I put my speakers down here. So they're away. They're not covering up the filter things. They're away from everything. They were installed correctly, so they never fell off. It is so funny when somebody's right down the street and their speakers fall off their bike. I have probably seen this now, I'm going to say over 10 times. Where we're right down the street, it could be a Ryker, it could be a Spyder, and the speakers completely break off over one bump. A lot of times it's because of the person that installed it, combined with you got some messed up streets in your state or your town. But usually it's the install person. Man, I've seen people try to install speakers and put them on a bike with wood screws. I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? I've seen all types of weird stuff going on with some of these installs, right? So again, you get what you pay for. So if somebody tells you, usually for an install, somebody's going to put together an amp, speakers, run all the lines and hook it up for you. That's usually about a $450 job. That's if you bring all the equipment. You bring the speakers, you bring the amp. For somebody to do a good install for you, it's going to take a few hours. And usually they're going to charge you less than $500, right? But if somebody, and that's only for 2 speakers. Now, if you're going to get 4 or 6 speakers and you're trying to go all around this bike with 1 or 2 amps, yes, it's going to cost more. But I've seen people just get a 2-speaker setup with an amp and like a controller, Bluetooth controller or whatever, and it cost them, they're coming back to me telling me, yeah, they charged me $1,500. I'm like, was that with the equipment? No, I had to buy the amp and everything else and bring it to them. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, they got you for about $1,000. But that's just my opinion. Get in the comment section. How much did it cost to get your speaker setup installed? Shout out to my boy, Jay. So you see the speakers up top, right, by the windshield. Hopefully you can see them. And then you see some in the back. So people position these things all over the place. I feel like with a Spyder, you have more places to kind of put the speakers, so the music can come straight at you. So usually if he's riding, he should be able to hear his music on the highway because it's coming from different directions. And these are some solid speakers overall. They heavy, but they solid. My man right here, see again, you guys will go get the controller. That's the controller right there that you see to control the music. So some people will go get a boat. So this is the one to like a boat. Somebody like, oh, is that to a car? No, this is the one for a boat, but he installed it on his Ryker. There's some big speakers right there. Do you got some speakers anywhere? Yep. So he got the same speakers as the last picture. He has the speakers up top and then he has some down low. So everybody's trying to go for that premium sound. They're trying to get their bike right and get that sound right. Down here, you see on a Ryker, you get them on the Ryker rocker panels down below. So get, 2 6.5s down below and like carry the music like that. All types of setups, man, whatever. Now, again, this is more custom, right? So you got a whole shell or something over the back or the rear of the Ryker of that rear fender. And then you got 2 speakers, one coming out on each side. Then you got some in the front. Again, this is a different custom design and setup. to each his own. Whatever pleases somebody is whatever you happy with, I'm happy with. Then you get this type of setup where it's like a Harley in the back, and you got some speakers coming out from it and some tweeters. Again, whatever your cup of tea is, whatever you think you want to do with your Ryker or your Spyder, hey, don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Do it. Whatever you want to do, do it. If you want your bike to look like this and you think this is hot, do it. Now on this Spyder, these are some huge 8.5s, 2 in the back, 1 on each side, 2 in the front. He hears his music. That's 100%. He even got music up top. So I'm seeing that on a lot of Spyders where they get those the speakers to go up top because they're easy to install. They're just not like loud enough. So you have to add other speakers for the sound system to be really loud. Now this one, what y'all think of this one, right? So speakers on the back, looks like 6 speakers. I don't know, maybe those are 4 6.5s and 2 5.5s or something. So get in the comment section, what do you think about this speaker setup? This is what it looks like from the side. I've never heard the sound on this, so I can't wait to see this bike so I can check the sound out, find out what this whole thing sounds like overall. Person even has some more speakers up front. So I don't know, I'm sure this is probably a nice sounding bike. Now, when your Spyder looks like this and you just got speakers everywhere, right? I'm gonna hope that this thing sounds loud as hell with all these speakers everywhere, up top, below, side. It's speakers everywhere on this bike. Speakers everywhere on this one, right? So on this one, what we got? Some coming out the side bag. So we got one. Oh, we even got the horn set up back here. I know them horns loud as hell. So this person has 2 speakers up top, 2 speakers one on each side up front. So that's 4. The side bag, I'm going to assume that the other side bag on the other side has speakers too. So 2, 4, 6, and then he has these right here, 8. I can guarantee this bike is loud as hell. It's just, I don't know. I probably wouldn't set mine up like this, but I can understand. Man, which one looks better, ketchup or mustard? Which one y'all like? Again, ketchup or mustard? I mean, those things are coming straight out at you. Those speakers, the ones on the back that are built for the back on this pole. Again, just seeing these speakers on the front fenders, man, it seems like a lot of these that I see when people still try to ride the bike. I try to tell people, you either have a show bike or you have a riding bike. People are trying to do both. They're trying to have a show bike, but a bike they actually ride hard. I don't think there's a such thing as that. I think you need to just put the basics on it if you're a real rider and you want to really ride this thing and have some fun. But if you want to go to shows and win sound competitions and want it to look like something and this and that, I think you could do a little something, but you can't go overboard because you either have a show bike or you have a riding bike. Get in the comment section and let me know, what bike do you have? Do you have a show bike, a riding bike, or a combination of both? Then you got like the Spyders that have the speakers, up top and down low, that type of custom work. You got the Spyders that get the speakers in the back. Now this, I don't know why people even bother putting this on there. Now in the beginning, I always hear people saying, yeah, I just wanted a little music. I don't care about the music. But then after like the next season and they hear everybody else, that's the whole problem with this, to be honest with you. I've been in situations where people didn't even want me to ride with them because my bike looks so much better than theirs, right? So with some of these bikes, you got some of these people that just want attention. They just like the attention. They like their bike, but they like the attention. They like right down the street and they getting that feel like the kids are looking at them, other adults are looking at them like they got a Lambo or something, right? They ain't never had that before. They all had, probably raggedy cars their whole lives. And then all of a sudden they get this Ryker and they get all this attention, especially in the earlier years, 2019, 2020, 2021. People think you're riding a spaceship back then. Now people are getting used to seeing them a lot. And it doesn't have the, that same that same cachet as it did in the past. But when I see people start with their speaker setups like this, I'm just like, why? You probably can't hear these speakers over 20 miles per hour and some wind. So I don't even bother with these. Like, don't even waste your money, in my opinion. It looks cool and convenient because they're on your handlebars, but they're not loud. You can't hear nothing. And I'm not saying that, only a speaker system is only good if it's loud. These are like these a little bit better, right? They have a little bit better sound to them, these actually that are on the screen. But again, I'm not saying that you have to have the loudest speakers out there. I've read so many comment sections of things or read so many forums online where people hate us on the Rykers or whatever. They're just like traditional motorcycle riders or just, regular motorists. They're just like, hey, these people are riding past. They got this loud music on and they got these lights, these obnoxious lights everywhere or whatever. Some people are kind of tired of it. Other motorists are kind of annoyed by it. What we do, we cut this music all the way up and they're like, why does your music need to be that loud? So for some of you, like, man, I paid for it, I'm gonna have it loud. But I think, there needs to be somewhere in the middle that we need to meet. As long as you can hear your music, that's all you should care about. Why do you need the whole neighborhood? Why do you need to wake up the whole neighborhood? And that is funny that some people do that. They will take off from their neighborhood, music loud as hell. People, you can't even hear the next person next to you talking, the music's that loud. But when you pull back up in your neighborhood, right, you cut the music down. Why? Because your neighbors don't want to hear it. So why don't you be respectful to others the same way you want people to be respectful in your neighborhood, right? Just my little 2 cents. Another Spyder, got these big speakers back here in the back. Just different types of custom setups, man. There are so many different custom setups. Look at this Spyder with the sub right in the front. I can't wait for this season to start. I can't wait to see what new and fresh ideas you guys come up with installing these speakers on your bikes. Again, I've had success with the Ryker 5-skate amps. So whether you're going to get a 4-channel or a 2-channel, depending on how many speakers you're going to hook up, it's been a very dependable amp. I've worked with the JL amps. The amps aren't that much, right? So for you to buy an amp, whatever, let's say $400, even a decent one, $550 for these bikes, right? And then you're gonna mix it and try to go get you some speakers. Let's say you go get you some speakers or whatever, 2 speakers, depending on what size, which generation, let's say $500. So total $1,000 for your amp and 2 speakers, and then you got to get somebody to install it. So if somebody's asking me, well, how much does it cost to install some speakers or whatever? I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, to do a whole speaker setup, the install and the speakers. I'm gonna usually tell them about $1,500. If you want a sound system, save about $1,500 and you're good. Now, if you're gonna add 2 more speakers and get a bigger amp and all this, then yeah, I'm gonna tell you about $2,000, $2,500. Some people will tell you any custom work is gonna cost you. So custom work is outdoor. I'm just talking about regular marine speakers with, controller or something like that. But if you're gonna go get custom work is going to cost you. So custom work will cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. It just depends. And then, of course, when you get the speakers, you got to get the pods to like hold it on to the bike. So, I got different places you can get pods from to hold the JL speakers or the Ryker 5-skate ones. But that's our show for today. I'm not trying to make this a crazy long video, but get in the comment section, blow it up. Hit that like button if you like this video talking about the music and the sounds. I cannot wait to see this year's sound competitions, what you guys are doing. If you want to give me a sneak peek up front on how you installed your speakers, or you got some comments about this video, go over to capate@gmail.com. Send me an email, with a picture of how you installed your speakers or your story. It'll probably make the channel. Hit that subscribe button for me right now. Become a part of this wonderful three-wheel community. Please do me a favor. Do it. Hit that notification bell. Until next time, my friends, C8 Pate out.